How do you rate UAE education system?
They just took one strategic step by inviting all best of the universities. So you name the continents and you have universities here in Dubai. People who are planning to come and do here, UAE has become one of the best choices for a lot of working professionals back in India especially. One of the companies is taking serious steps to educate these university students to upgrade their skills while they're in the campus. So the internship culture has picked up very strong in the universities in this part of the world because that's the first exposure of a child with the real world situation. People have realized that you really need strategy to connect with as many potential partners as you can. You can't settle down with first achievement because the shelf life is maybe an hour.
Rent to success is paid every day.
Very well said, Dr. K.
Hello viewers, welcome for joining in. And आज मैं आपको बहुत ही powerful woman से मिलाने वाला हूँ. She's a businesswoman and she's living in Dubai more than 2 decades. She worked in education industry for long, university, schools. आप किसी भी university या school की बात करेंगे तो किसी न किसी को जानती हैं at the senior management. Let's welcome Ankita Puri on the show. Ankita, thank you for joining in. And one more thing I want to share about you is you have also written a book. Not only you have written a book, you have inspired many to write a book, and that started from your own family. So your son also wrote a book. He became an author. Rather, he is faster, so he's author of 3 books today. So thank you very much for joining in.
Thank you.
I want to know your journey. And I think you are raised, you're born and brought up in Jabalpur, right?
That's right.
So I want to know, how was your childhood, and have you always thought of being an entrepreneur, or it just came on the journey?
Great. Thank you for having me today in this podcast, Dr. K. Brilliant question to start the conversation. Yes, I come from a very beautiful city called Jabalpur, which is in Madhya Pradesh. And those who know the geography of India as a whole, this is the centermost city of the whole country. And it has a tourist spot. It has a lot of places to visit. And it is a very supporting city when it comes to army. We have a lot of factories, which is related to gun carriage and all that. So I was born and raised in Jabalpur, and I come from a middle-class family. Both my mom and dad, ex-bankers.
Oh, bankers, huh?
Yes. So
people,
now you know.
People say that, entrepreneurs are born. No, they're made here. Okay, so no business background.
100%, not at all, in no close vicinity. Nothing which is called business was in our lineage. We all have been raised, like me and my brother, we have been raised by working parents. And even we were supposed to get a refrigerator. It used to be a discussion before we should invest in buying that fridge at that time.
Wow.
But a very beautiful family, I must say, family of 4. And yes, so.
And what do you want it to be? Because, we all ask kids, what do you want to become when you grow up? So what do you want it to be when you were a child? If you remember.
Of course, I do remember, because that was the time when the choices were very limited. Either you're an engineer or a doctor or a disgrace.
So true. And I know we both did not become either of one.
So for me, ironically, my dad wanted me to be a doctor. Mom had some other plans and I had 0 plans other than just looking at both of them for them to decide who's going to pay my fees wherever I go. So I'm an accidental engineer.
Oh, you did?
I did my computer science engineering. And that was one moment that without any quota or anything, I got through my admissions. And I was still wondering, why am I doing it? Like every second child of my era.
No, even I'm not aware. I got to know today. I know you so much that you are a computer engineer.
Yes.
Wow. Coder, huh?
Engineers, yes. Coding, no. Logic, yes. Designing, no. So, I always had this lead roles in entire engineering projects wherein I was talking. I was designing, I was telling the logic, and I had fellow engineers to do the coding part. So I never had that interest of going into programming per se, and it's very difficult for me to sit down and do the coding for hours. So I never had that aspiration. But yes, when I entered engineering, I started getting some realization that life has a purpose. But what purpose was a big question mark, because that age, you just want to rush either to get a job or you want to get some master's degree and then flaunt it out. I was not different that very moment, but I was very clear that something is hidden and something is waiting for me. And I started exploring opportunities. So yeah, from Jabalpur, I moved out after my engineering, and there was a long journey. I went to tech city called Bangalore, and I started facing life eye to eye, and I started exploring opportunities, and I realized I am meant for a profile wherein I have to sit and talk to multiple people. And yes, that's where this journey began. And I was into the HR role for a very, very long time.
Computer engineering to HR.
Computer, yeah. And that too into IT, facility management, IT sourcing, IT training, and even, how these initial career days evolve. Freshers was not taken up as a good category because of, the 9/11 attack happened when we graduated, and we all were on roads like potatoes sprouting out of the ground from nowhere. But yes, we all picked up ourselves and we got established. And yes, eventually I realized that operations is my core forte. And by the grace of God, I started becoming selective with the brands I have to work in the operations role. And eventually I ended up finding myself working with one of the reputed educational institutes, which represents India globally. And I led their faculty recruitment program. For the first time, they outsourced after years. And that was my first instinct with the education industry. And it just struck me because I felt this is my fraternity. I can connect so well with them. That was my first instinct altogether.
A little bit of purpose. You saw the purpose.
Yes.
What made you to come to Dubai? And what was your journey to end up here? I don't think it was a plan, but you must have ended here with something. So what is the story behind that?
I am sure by now, most of the things in my life happens accidental because coming to Dubai was also not a planned move. We were here for holidays, and I happened to meet that time my client, the education setup, and we happened to have a very good meeting and interaction. And I realized if I'm working from India, I should try from Dubai. And
on holiday.
Yes, and I rolled the dice right on the spot to the gentleman whom I was speaking with, and apparently it was in my favor because by the time I went back, there was a position for me, and I got the support from my husband, and we moved.
He also moved with you?
Yes. So,
but he must be working. So how did you manage that?
He also got the job. I think it was the stars which were working for us, and not just that. The way the events happened, the sequence of events which were happening, as if we were just picking up the options which are coming our way. And by the time I got a job, he also got a job in Dubai. We were in Abu Dhabi initially for a couple of months, and then we moved to Dubai. And there was no look back since then.
Wonderful. So you came on holiday and you decided to work here, and then your husband agreed and you ended up here. Wow.
Exactly, yes. I know it sounds like a bit dramatic, but that's what I call life. It's very dramatic.
It's been 14 years in exactly living continuously.
Yes.
So how do you rate UAE education system? Because I know if you look back in early 2000s and 90s, we always believed that UAE education is not as powerful as India. I know today for the fact that it is gone to a next level and far greater than India, which I see. But I'm like an outsider from education world. So how do you see the journey of education industry in Dubai and UAE has grown?
Good question. And something very close to my heart when I'm talking to parents, even today, who are still thinking to send their children to UAE, be it bachelor's, master's, or diploma, or even for summer schools for that matter. You are right in your initial part of your question that there was a time when UAE was struggling to attract the education system, students to be a part of this education system. And there were many reasons. The country has been evolving, and the kind of speed of evolution this country is undergoing, I think it's very challenging for the rest to match up, correct? So as education system, They never had it so promising the way they are today, and the way they're projecting for 2030 is remarkable. But that time
Today, if someone asks me to send a kids out, Indian, if says I want to send my kid somewhere out to study, I would only give them two options: Singapore or Dubai. And if they ask me what's number one priority, I'll say Dubai.
Correct.
In the world, I won't say UK, Germany, US, Dubai. That's the best place.
Absolutely. And I'm sure there are many who will echo with your suggestion, because that's the fact. This country took steps which were conscious steps to ensure that students should not leave their land to go back to their native country, especially expats for that matter, just because the education system is having a stigma of that not being good. It might be good, we don't know, we both were not there. But we have heard the realities of what made them, take this seriously. They just took one strategic step by inviting all best of the universities, right, from various parts of the world.
Can you name few best of the world in
You
Dubai?
name it, like talk about BITS Pilani, our own Indian league, right? You talk about now even IIT, IIMs, you talk about Heriot-Watt, Rochester, Birmingham, Curtin. So you name the continents and you have universities here in Dubai. Why? Because the government says, can you bring that quality education to the students' reach here in this region? And when I say region, I'm not just saying UAE, I'm talking about the entire Middle East. If you pick up the facts, there is a good percentage of students choosing Dubai over other locations, even from Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain. GCC has a stake for Dubai as an education. It never happened overnight. They took time. They had their own protocols in place. The invitation letters were accepted, some were kept on hold. But slowly and gradually, the whole picture changed. And people started counting on from last 6 years, 8 years, you name it. I mean, at least since I am observing this industry, I can see that every year there is an incremental growth of students choosing Dubai as their study destination. And why should not they?
One of the best.
It's one of the best, which comes as a whole package, not just quality education. Look at it. The life quality, the
safety, security,
growth.
I
mean, you don't have to think that I'm studying in Indian university. What about my other nationality interactions?
Yeah, so I think the students here gets the best exposure because they're sitting in a class. Maybe another guy would be Filipino, Russian, maybe American, and it's like multicultural, maybe Chinese, Indian. It's a multicultural classroom, which you cannot find anywhere in the world.
Absolutely. And not just that, they compete. Suppose if they are in an Indian classroom, which is of any strength, the moment they go out for a competition, you can't
into schools,
think
into universities, into colleges.
Absolutely. So imagine that kind of exposure makes a child a global citizen right at this early age. And every employer in today's world wants global citizens to come, so that they are well trained how to deal with international, ethnicities. So
I also want you to talk about. I remember you were sharing a couple of students who want to go and study in US university is difficult directly getting into that, but routing through Dubai can give them easy access to US and future plans for US if someone is planning. Can you highlight that point too?
Of course, yes. In the same education system which we have been talking about, there is a facilitation. Should a child who enrolls and registers in Dubai, in UAE, wants to go to the parent campus of the university, so there is a facilitation that maybe one of the semesters or one of the year of the entire duration program, they can study from, say, from US in that matter. Now, what is the benefit? A child gets the exposure of both the economy. If you liked studying one semester in US, you want to continue, fair enough, you do have a provision. You are not doing too much of paperwork or too much of hassles to achieve that. You want to graduate from there, well done. You still have a provision because it's all under one umbrella. Correct? So quality education, the content, the programs, the structure, nothing changed. Just that from Dubai campus, you have uprooted it and gone to the, say, New York campus, for example. That's it. Because even if you study 3 years or 4 years in Dubai, you are getting the same degree, you're getting the same exposure. So what students do, you know how the visa processes are facing challenges in current scenario. A lot of students had ambiguity, especially for this intake, whether they are traveling or whether they are not traveling. There were many smart students who immediately worked on the backup plan, the plan B we call it. They came to Dubai because the same university which they were going, there was a high possibility they figured out that they have a campus in Dubai. So they came to Dubai, they're studying the same education, and probably 2 years down the line, they will go and visit. Your purpose is solved.
I know it is true for everyone, not only for students who want to go to US. They are routing because of the kind of relationship being hampered and what's happening in the world politics. So they're using Dubai as a gateway to US. But that's also true for companies. I know a lot of companies, because tariffs have been increased in India.
Absolutely.
But tariffs are still same for Dubai. So what they're doing is they're getting stuff from Dubai to India, India to Dubai, and Dubai to US.
Yeah.
And they're still saving on the tariffs and other part.
And this geopolitical pockets will keep changing.
Keep changing, yeah.
Education system is something which remains stable. And this pathway, which you very well said, is a gateway. I think that exists for a longer run, and it's not just one way. You can always come back. No, I didn't like staying there. I want to come back and graduate from Dubai. Fantastic. We still host you. So the universities have an amazing provision for these students.
Another question is from Indian parents or Indian students' perspective. A lot of time they don't want to study in the IB curriculum because the way India is also growing, we don't want to go very far, because I personally believe that these next decade lies for the eastern part of the world, and India has a very high potential for that. So they don't want to go and study in IB curriculum, rather they want Indian curriculums and CBSEs and all those. Is it possible in Dubai? What's your take? And what percentage schools are available? Is it easy to get into CBSE, or is it available first of all?
Oh yes, you have all boards available in Dubai. You don't have to think of making a decision whether it will be there or not. No, just pack up, look out, get to the right person who can guide you. You have all boards available. You talk about you talk about CBSE, IB, UK curriculum, Shoifat, American curriculum, and the list is long. Availability is ample. Quality is amazing. The efforts a teacher puts into a child is far more competitive. And I always admire a teacher's profile in this world. I admire the most. I think teachers are to be admired across the world.
Across the world. But this part, even I have seen the kind of dedication they put in is very different.
Maybe I'm more, biased to say that this part, because I'm experiencing it because of my son. The way he's head of the school and the school teachers and the phase heads take care of every child. I think I admire every move the schools are putting in. So those who have plans to come to Dubai, and if they have children, they just need not to worry about it. They just need to make sure that the academic cycle is slightly variant here. The admission season varies compared to the Indian admission seasons. And of course, the demand is high. So, the window which opens up for new admissions, that is something they need to keep a check upon.
But generally, what time the admission starts? Because I know curriculum starts in September, right?
Yes.
And summer vacation is July, August.
Correct.
So, but when does parents should
for any
keep an
academic year, a previous year's October or September is the right month to apply. So those who are planning to come here in 2026, this September and October is the right time for them to figure out the schools, submit their application forms, and secure your seat.
Also, a year before a seat can be secured.
Roughly,
Most probably, yes. And I know it's a very vague question, but you just want to know your point of view. A lot of people think education system is very expensive here, which I also know it's a variety. But do you want to put a light on the kind of fees? You have a son who's studying. I'm not mentioning the school names and all, but just a range. What range annual fee would be for schools?
The good part is how we see it in the sense, cost of living in UAE can never be compared with the cost of living in India, first of all. And so as your earnings can never be compared, right? So the fee structure is also definitely not to be immediately
Compared to
multiplied by the 23 or the 24 value and compare.
No,
Oh my
that
God.
I can't do a cup of tea, then I can't sip a tea here if I do that.
Absolutely
Yeah.
right. But if you surpass these particular pointers and then focus completely on being in Dubai, you have a variety of schools with different categories of fee structures. Not that the lower the structure, the quality becomes poor. No.
This is very important point to
Yes.
highlight. Even the lowest fees schools are not lowest because the quality is not good. It is just the philosophy of the management that they want to provide quality educations to as low as possible.
Absolutely
That's
right.
the philosophy.
Absolutely right. So you really don't, and nobody thinks that way, that, okay, if I have to send my child, which has a fee structure which is on the high end, then that means I am counted as a very rich fellow in Dubai, because everyone is rich in Dubai and everyone is not rich.
One
in
thing
Dubai.
you can't show off here is richness, but everyone's rich in Dubai.
So it doesn't matter. It's just what happens is people come and select according to their projected budget. So if you have a budget in your mind, because how will you decide is because of your income sources and all those combinations, and you decide a budget. Now with that budget, you will be surprised that you still have 2 to 3 options easily available for you, despite of a whole bulk of schools sprouted around, and each one of them are ready to entertain your inquiries, guide you through, and it's a no obligation engagement they do. Do you like it? Please apply on time, and you don't have to really worry about it. So you have high-end schools, you have mid-range schools, and you do have some schools which are average. I mean, you really don't, it will not, you'll not be just meeting the edges. You will definitely be having a good lifestyle and a good school to support your child's education.
But you still did not answer me. I know it's a difficult question. I know it's vague. But if you want to put a number to it, I know it's a difficult question because numbers keep changing. We are shooting in some time, and next year someone is looking after 3 years this podcast. The numbers would differ. One thing I'll definitely do for our viewers is I'll put a website of KHDA where all the schools and the fees are listed. So you can look at that description box and look more about it. But when I looked at that list out of curiosity, I saw the schools range from 12,000 dirham to 100,000 dirham for the same class.
Absolutely.
For different curriculum, from different things. And I'm also talking international schools. And out of curiosity again, because I'm a curious person, so I picked up one school, which is a JVC, I won't name it, JVC school, international school. The fees they showed on KHDA website was 18,000 dirham. But when I looked at the campus and visited school and principal, it was awesome.
Yes.
I never felt that. When I was thinking, why are you charging so low? That was my feeling. But I think the range is, it's not very, very expensive. You land up, 10, 20 times more than Indian schooling. But
Indian schooling is not that, we cannot say that it's no more expensive. It is very competitive back in India also.
In India also, yeah.
I would like to here mention out, if a school is charging exorbitant, like they're charging literally high, then a parent should always look at the extra facilities a child is availing under that. Because end of the day, students just do not only study. There's a holistic development,
Holistic development
right?
happens.
So you end up paying extra ounces even if you're in a mid-range school wherein, say, your annual fee is, say, 18 to 20,000 dirhams. But in the entire academic year, you might have paid extra for sports or ECAs.
But that's true everywhere in the world. Even in India,
correct?
That happens. Whatever fees you are paying, some additional
comes. In certain schools where the fees are high, probably certain such extra classes are part of the curriculum, and then they charge extra for something more. So there's always a comparison of cost versus benefits. So if they are something has to rest on your decision, you can always compare what benefits my child is getting additional. That's why I'm paying so much. And if that is a value addition to my child, because my son, for example, may not be interested in horse riding. But if I have to send a child to a school which is charging for a horse riding, probably I may put it in a second choice.
Yeah. So you decide. Look at the facilities.
Absolutely.
If someone is charging extra, they may be putting them into multiple things which you may not find right at the moment, like horse riding, or it could be swimming, or it could be snorkeling. There are a lot of things,
lot of other
sports
things.
and
These are
music.
seasonals. When your child is developing, especially children of like my son, when he was 5 years old, he was liking something else. He was a sprint runner. Now he's 12. He wants to be a hockey player. I don't know by 15 what he wants to be.
Okay, but let them explore as
They're
much as
exploring,
possible.
absolutely. So they explore with those ad hoc activities, which I pay, and I don't end up pushing them hard. Okay, you don't want to continue? Fair enough.
And these activities are also available out of the school
Yes.
curriculum.
And every
The
school provides, yeah.
So out of the school means, there will be private organizations
Yes.
also running
Yes.
these kind of activities.
There
It's
are.
similar to India.
There are, exactly. So that's what I say. Budgeting plays a major role here for every working parent, or even if entrepreneurs like us are planning to put their children, we budget it out and then we do a market comparison in terms of opportunities and we spend it out.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And let's talk a little about university education too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know it's so powerful because all global universities are present, so there's no comparison or discussion about the quality education. It is true for anyone who, the smallest means maybe campus or maybe number of students to the biggest, all provide quality. I want to talk about the placement opportunities. So when someone studies here, what kind of job placements you have seen in your experience?
Yeah. See, I'll say universities are playing a very vital role, especially in this current scenario when there are talks about sustainabilities, talks about jobs which are not going to exist. People are taking up decisions based on World Economic Forum, job skills, projections of 2030. None of the universities to which I interact on a regular basis are ignorant about it. The only reason is placements. They have taken students on board and they want them to not to just learn what the curriculum has identified for them, but to be ready for the future. Correct? And the future nowadays is not which is going to come. It sits next to you, almost there. So the internship culture has picked up very strong in the universities in this part of the world. Internships are taken up with utmost seriousness because that's the first exposure of a child with the real world situation. So when they go for internship, most of these curriculums are now giving embedded internship program. When they go out, they realize what's in the market, what is needed. They come back and then they go for electives. Okay. Now this sounds very easy said than done, because what if you landed up an internship which did not give you enough exposure to come back and take the right choice? So that's where the universities are doing a lot to invite, external entities to their campuses. So there's a lot of outreach which is happening now. It's no more a business of just the placement department. There are a lot of center of excellence which has been launched. A full-fledged outreach team has been launched in most of the universities, because when they are ready to face the world in their final semester or the final year, they are more like a employee who is a probation employee. They can kick off their career. Talking about placements, people who are planning to come and do here, UAE has become one of the best choices for a lot of working professionals back in India, especially if I say. They want to leave their current jobs, come to Dubai under student visa, explore the market under the, the entitlement of the university brand. Explore that cream network of alumni and get into the job.
Wow.
So it's the new pathway.
Lucrative.
Yes. No more coming on visit visa, searching for a job, going back, renewing. No. Let's go, let's learn.
And you also use the alumni network and the name of the brand name of the university to get into the market.
Yes, a lot of support happening, a lot of engagement with alumni and happening. And companies, as I mentioned, one of the companies, let's not take the name here, but one of the companies is taking serious steps to educate these university students to upgrade their skills while they're in the campus.
I want to talk about that because I know you are one of the topmost expert on outreach programs and you bridge gap between companies and universities. So would like to talk what is outreach program and how do you help companies and universities in that direction?
Wonderful. As I said, outreach has become the talk of the town, if you ask me. And nowadays I even hear a lot of Indian universities There used to be a lot of noise when there was an HR department other than a registrar in a university. Similarly, now the era is of outreach. Okay, the objective is very simple, Dr. K, wherein now people have realized that, especially when everything has become global. Okay, COVID taught us how to be global, precisely, right? People have realized that you really need strategy to connect with as many potential partners as you can. So this talent partnership is a core of outreach activities, which my company does today. What we help universities is to get into the right, connection with corporates, the corporate leaders, institutions which are ready to upgrade their, students who are about to graduate now, okay, or even to hire them, or even to absorb them as solopreneurs. There's a lot of solopreneurship which is into action nowadays. So invest on their project. So you need some medium in between. That's where your outreach activities comes into picture, wherein we activate that talent partnership between them. Similarly, there are a lot of corporates who have the CSR activity as part of their annual forum, wherein they have to ensure that futuristic skills are being given to these students, right? Rather than waiting for them to graduate, come as a trainee, and then perform after 7 months. Time has gone. It's all fast forward moments now. So they have entered the campuses now. And for that, they need a medium, which is company like mine, wherein I activate that partnership and I liaise in a way that right from curate to execution to the graduation or whatever comes in between, we are doing that without disturbing their routine work.
Yeah.
Correct? Who is the right first benefit is the student category. They are far more confident while being in their final years only. And they talk the language which probably
industry is
talking about. So placements is not a challenge anymore. Getting ready for the placement has become the spotlight. Because people are ready to take these youngsters, provided they have upgraded themselves beyond the books only. So it's an amazing country if you talk about.
I know this is your work for universities through outreach, but I know you also work with schools.
Yes, I
would
do.
like to highlight what kind of offerings do you do for schools? Because a lot of principals may be listening to us.
Yes.
School teachers, they can approach you.
I'm very happy with the way the school system works out here, because we have come. I still recall my school days, how the system was. This has a complete shift of 360 degrees, the way I look at it, how my son's school works, and the regular schooling happens. People like us gets an invite-based meetings and interactions just to ensure that what else can we bring to our students in school from mid to high school, so that they are already sitting on a global platform right now, but still what else can make them far more competitive and easily acceptable. They don't have to struggle to fit in. The moment they finish their, say, A levels or grade 12, they are not struggling to fit in. They are one of the products which is already there in the market, that way we call it. But these students, the kind of exposure the schools are bringing in, and I'm very, I must say, those principals who are listening to us, thank you for being, visionary in terms of running the school system. And I still remember one of the leadership program which was launched for a grade 7 child. A leadership program run by one of the Ivy League universities in US. They executed a leadership program of 3 days with a capstone project, and a 7th grader was presenting it, and I was totally slayed. I said, this is something which is the new generation. By the time this child is in A levels,
I know.
I have no idea what will be the next version.
I can say the same thing because, I'm a book coach, I run a publishing company, and I do teach book writing to kids too. And I've been doing more work in India than Dubai, because Dubai is for me 3 years and India is more 7-8 years. But I'm amazed that schools are approaching me from their side.
Yeah.
I don't have to go to school and say this. A lot of times school comes to me and say, we heard that you do, can you do it for our school?
Correct.
In India, if I go and approach schools, then, let's see, next curriculum and all. This is just a vision of the schools here, which they want to make sure the students are learning the best and they fit in and they differentiate from other schools or other students from other countries. So they know they are creating a global citizen and global student who's also competing someone in India, who's also competing someone in UK and US. So they are also thinking from the vision is they're thinking the global, not the Dubai or UAE.
Not
That's
regional
very powerful.
at all.
Not regional
In fact,
at
I
all.
want to mention here, we run a speakers incubator as one of our services. And this speakers incubator is exclusively for youth.
Wow.
This incubator is have various labs. We prepare students to be impactful speakers. I mean, the idea is not to public speak. The idea is to be impactful. Head on to the stages like TEDx and go for such stages in future. And most of the schools are supporting to this concept, and they are tying up and associating and partnering with us because they know children can talk, but are they getting the right platform? Because, I am a TEDx speaker myself. So I know once a TEDx speaker, you are there for the lifetime. How about bringing this opportunity to a child who is just in grade 10 or who's just 12 years old or 14 years old? Life is long, So we are getting a lot of support from schools for such kind of outreach activities as well, along with, the exchange programs which we do. And what I'm trying to establish here is that the whole ecosystem of the school here understands the value addition.
Understand. Rather, they appreciate, not only understand, they look for it.
Yes, they look for it, and they make sure that it's a timely look because the curriculum is also challenging, and especially with senior grades, they are far more conscious about their results and their efforts into that. Without diluting that, they want this to be as an add-on, so that when this child is graduating, especially from British curriculum experience, if I say, the portfolio matters a lot when you're applying for international universities. And that portfolio building happens alongside the curriculum grades. It's an amazing combination there.
I want to circle back our discussion when we started. So we started that, you do not have an entrepreneurial background, but you started your, company and you're an entrepreneur, you're running it successfully. So what made you decide suddenly? Because, I know you were highly settled, high paying job. And then you say, no, I want to be an entrepreneur. So would you like to talk about your journey? Because I know a lot of women and even men are looking at it. I know a lot of people have desires and dream that someday I'll start my company.
Correct.
But I always say the biggest addiction is salary.
Correct, yeah.
And that comes every month first. And then you decide not to follow your dreams and heart. How did you break that pattern?
Oh, yes. Exactly what you said. I've served the industry as an employee, leading positions. I've been into higher education, of course, for close to 2 decades, as I said. So I've been into leading roles in admissions and marketing, and not just limited to UAE. I was handling GCC as a whole. And I served the community wherein there were only 12th pass out students, undergrad aspirants. Then I served for a longer time for master students. Somebody who like you and me, if you want to go for an MBA now, we have a different take on this degree program, right? But after spending years with both the set of people and identifying the gaps and identifying the limitations of my support to fill those gaps, I one day realized that no, this is not happening, because for me, there is more than what I can do, but that needs no approval. Correct? And that was the first time I told myself, if I'm not getting an approval for this action, then who else will help me? And the answer was myself. Only I can help myself.
No one can help.
No one can help me, right?
This fight you have to put alone.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you need your family support, but at least you have to stand.
People call it entrepreneurship. I called it reflection. I mean, for me, that was the day I reflected on myself, that if it pains me so much, why can't I just get up and start helping my own self so that the pain is reduced? Easy to say. Never realized that moment of, yeah, I can do it. I spent some time again. I mean, I'm not the person who jumps into actions immediately. I do spend, maybe I sleep over with the point, or maybe I spend 1 week thinking about it. And I started designing a product for my thought process. What am I thinking? What am I asking? And I spent close to 10 months while being in the job, meeting people, meeting academicians, industry leaders, asking them how do they feel about it. Do you see there is a gap? Do you think this is a solution? And like that. So my entrepreneur journey was evolving with every networking I was doing, with every interaction on a coffee meeting I was doing. And I was getting more empowered that I'm thinking in the right direction. But it's not easy because just a thought cannot build a business.
Because someday you have to take a plunge.
Exactly, right? And the biggest punch is, sorry, this is a last salary check. And that's it. I mean, now what? Next month, first comes and there's nothing coming in, no messages popping up. But all that was, I think by age, we realized that, okay, if you have to do something, you have to do some kind of, calculate certain risk, do some plannings. Don't just jump into it. And that's what I was doing. I spent good time. I took a break first.
Wonderful.
I was out of my entire thought process for a good 20 days. I went to and met everyone in India, wherever they belong to, my old friends, my relatives, because I knew what I'm going to start now is a shift, complete shift, a new version of Ankita.
I remember even the book came on the same time.
Absolutely right. And that was, as I said, a new version was about to come.
Yeah.
I never realized that becoming an author was also a part of this journey of becoming an entrepreneur. And you know how the two names sound similar, like company name and the book name,
Both same, yeah.
And it was all destined at the same time. It was all curated carefully. This was not accidental, I should say. This was my calculated decision, because when you start a business, it's a whole family which is going to get affected,
Yeah.
right? Not just the financials, but your emotions, your stress, your timings. You're no more the same 9 to 5,
yeah.
person, right?
No more Saturday, only weekdays and weekends.
There's no weekends. Nowadays, my weekend is Wednesday.
Yeah, so it shifts as per the market.
Shifts, yes. So there was a lot at stake, and especially when you are an expat in a country where your support system is limited to people who live in the house, you really have to be very calculative, which I did. I'm very happy. Why? Because the system here is very supportive. Especially in UAE, when you want to start a company, you really don't have to go to multiple tables. There are systems in place. Go find out. Get in the mentorship of the right person. You should have a business mentor in place, and then eventually have a plan in place. And resilience is the key. End of the day, me becoming an entrepreneur, the only lesson I learned is resilience is the key, because not every day is a blooming day. And the blooming day starts after long rainy days.
That's how nature also works, no?
Yeah, absolutely right. So yes, that's the way I started my entrepreneurship journey. Never coming from parents who were into banking.
Well, are you happy taking that plunge?
I am very contented. I'm very contented because now if I want to do something to reduce my own pain, I am the decision maker. And when I take that decision, I don't go by emotions. I rational it out. I figure out the volume I can, implement this action or anything which is related to that decision. But at least I have the free hand of bringing that small little change for which I used to dire for approvals to come.
Wow.
And if that change happens, which is happening from last almost 3 years now, when I see a single change happening or any, appreciation message which comes from a parent or from a student, like for example, recently 2 of my students went on a TEDx talk. The message which read that we almost cried for half an hour looking at our child on the stage.
Wow.
I mean, I had goosebumps. I made a difference.
You made a difference.
Right? So this is what I call as contention. So anything I do in business, I feel contented, but I am very progressive. This is my lesson number 2. You can't settle down with first achievement because the shelf life is maybe an hour.
I've read a very powerful quote which resembles this. Says, "Rent to success is paid every day."
Very well said, Dr. K. Very well said.
So if you don't pay the rent today, tomorrow you'll be out.
Pack up your bags. So true.
So you have to be on the toes and you have to be. But big thing is when you make a difference in someone's life.
Yeah.
That's a huge. I don't know. It goes so deep in the heart, which the biggest checks cannot make you satisfied. And fortunately checks also comes in. With the
That-
difference.
the ikigai, we call
The
it.
ikigai, yeah. with the-
And in my line of business, there are a lot of parents who rely on my decision for them, or my recommendation for them, for their children especially. So when this thing comes into picture, I mean, I have to wear the hat of, not a businesswoman, but as a parent.
As a parent.
I really make sure that this is someone's career for a longer run. Somewhere this person is going to meet the younger generation and the younger generation. So it's a whole likelihood of having a good, compassionate world of professionals, which we are creating today. We will not realize it today. But 10, 12 years down the line, we'll see, this was the gentleman whom I asked them to go and join engineering. Look what value addition this person is bringing in. So it's a very responsible
everything what you
job.
do in speaking, I personally feel there should be lesson in the school for speaking, because
Yeah.
if I ask how did you learn speaking, they say when I saw my father say mama, is that speaking? No, that's not speaking. But we call that speaking. We need to learn speaking,
Absolutely.
because that's how as a human we are differentiated from animals. They can't speak,
That's true.
and that's how we can exchange ideas and we can grow together. So speaking is very necessary, and I'm very happy that you're bringing that speakers platform to the schools, so kids are powerful. And I personally feel if one thing you want to command over is speaking.
Correct.
Other things, if you somewhere go a little bit here and there, it's okay, because I've seen the most powerful speakers lead the world.
Correct.
Whether you look at prime ministers and leaders and
Absolutely. And
speaking.
this generation has a lot of content to talk.
yeah,
Because when you talk with the content, you become effective.
Effective.
You make an impact. Students have a lot of content. Thanks to the exposure they have, thanks to the gadgets they explore purposely, meaningfully. But when you're asking them to talk about it,
even
Somewhere.
environment is different. When we were growing up, we were like introverts. Mummy ke piche chup jane ka. So that's what we've grown up. These kids are, they'll come ahead and speak with the confidence and content. So only they need little nurturing and grooming.
correct.
And I'm very happy that you're doing that.
Thank you very
For
much.
a lot of schools and a lot of kids.
And
But continue inspiring the world, continue writing, continue helping people, make a difference in the world. And we'll talk again on some other topic. I know you are a multi-talented personality. I just picked up one area of your life today and we spoke.
So you've been very
thank
kind,
you.
Dr. K. And I always love talking to you. And I think for us, if we are allowed to talk for length, we can measure sunrise to sunset, and our talks will never end. But it's an amazing, experience, and I'm glad people who are listening to you. I must say that they're at the right spot, because I am sure that your space has a lot to offer to a different set of people, and glad you've got this platform for me as well today.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything.